And it seems in the society it's okay for the women to depend on the man. Why can't the man depend on the women?
Hello everyone, right? Welcome back to Midlife Unfiltered. So today is my solo episode that I actually invited a male speaker, and this is Kenneth Choo from KC Creative Marketing. And actually we know each other for many years.
Yes.
And he is actually my first ex-staff in J&R Media in 2014. Yeah, so let me welcome Kenneth to actually come on board to Midlife Unfiltered to talk about Father's Day topic.
Thank you, Jenny, for inviting me to your podcast. I'm really looking forward for this podcast for the longest time, ever since you told me about Midlife Clover. Like you were saying, I'm your first male guest, right?
Yes, most welcome. Actually, this is a YouTube channel that co-hosts with Alice Au from Prime Midlife. And two ladies are wondering, how are we going to talk about Father's Day topic, you see, for two women? And all this while, we do agree that we wanted to talk about men more, invite men to come into the community, because we believe that midlife shouldn't be just women. Men actually stands a very important role, and they have even more to share during this midlife journey. Yeah, and therefore I proposed to Alice. I said, well, since we are going to open up our guest panel, why not let me introduce Kenneth on board and share with us how is his journey from a son to raising a daughter. And he's also in the social media, TikTok trainer, and a very wide aspects of media experiences. Two of us both came from the same media industry. So we have a lot more to chat about during this episode. Okay. So Kenneth, do you want to share a bit more of how we get to know each other?
Of course. So hello everyone, my name is Kenneth. I'm a speaker, consultant, and also the founder of KC Creative Marketing that I've set up for the past 11 years. So I always strongly believe that starting the business is not possible for anyone, but when things happen, when you are being led to that industry, and me being a dad, I have a 17-year-old this year. I'm now 45, maybe I don't look like 45, but it's all because I started the business 11 years ago. I'm able to live my life on by design. I'm able to spend more time with my loved ones. I'm able to do the things that I'm passionate about with nobody. And what we know about is the sky is the limit. And how I know about Jenny is I always introduce her as my ex-boss. Everywhere we go for networking session, oh, Jenny is my ex-boss. This is ex-boss. So she's my ex-boss from JR Media. And that time was my last employment. So I was working as their account manager, where we help our clients to insert their samples, their brochures into this baby bag that is given to mothers in maternity hospitals. So and why we were doing that, because she was also in charge of this baby bag in another company, and I was with the company that created this baby bag. So both of us, coincidentally, because of one mompreneur, which is my ex-client, with my advertising experience, hired me and said, can you come and become our account manager? And it's basically a very small startup with two female bosses, mompreneurs, and they hired me as account manager to bring out the business. And like Jenny mentioned, it's like 2014. That is like 12 years ago, right? And with that, although after 2 years, right, both of them have different direction, they decided to fold the company. And coincidentally, our clients, our marketing clients, some of them say, Kenneth, why not you set up your own marketing consultancy so that you can continue to service us? And that's how everything started. And especially in the beginning of the journey, the clients were there and they supported. But along the way, I think we will be talking about like entrepreneurship, the journey of being an entrepreneur. In these past 11 years of me running my own business, it has not been a smooth ride, definitely. There's up and down. But along the way, I believe that like even currently, we have to pivot. We have to find what is what is the thing that's trending now. And then we just have to pivot. We just have to move into it. And we just have to improve and learn a lot of things by ourselves. So that is how I met Jenny. And ever since, although I started my own business, we have been keeping in touch, good friends. We always wanted to find a way to collaborate. We find all sorts of reasons to meet up, even to hang out and stuff like that.
I have been evolving my years of experience, life journey with many women, setting up women community, mommies community. And first time when I did drive into midlife journey, opening up to the male gender aspects, I'm actually in a very, how to say, well, I met up a lot of my business owner, they are male. And they are very supportive. Yet one thing is they don't want to be on screen. I think a lot of male are more at the back scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of daddy who I know, they will say that no lah, I'm shy lah. Don't tell me to come and chit chat. So yes, I lack of a lot of male speakers. So upcoming, if we want to, have more male to come up and share more about your midlife journey or your midlifepreneurship, feel free to DM me and Alice. We will be very happy to do so, to explore what kind of opportunities we can actually collaborate together. How's your relationship with your dad?
Wow, that is a tough one.
Because in Asian, right, a lot of us are like, hidden love generation. We don't hug, we don't say I love you, or a bit mushy. So even my daughter always say that, hey, why you don't tell your parents like I love you, hug. But we are doing that. So how about you and your dad?
Okay, so I do not know like if there's any men out there, whether do you have this relationship with your dad. So there's a typical saying, the Asian father and son problem, right? When you say problem, is that we lack of communication. We always go head to head. That is basically my relationship with my dad ever since young. Why? Because my mom, together with me and my two sisters, right? She's a stay-at-home mom, or you call it housewife back then. She has to take care of the three of us. She stay at home, and my dad is the one that is hustling outside. He's always out of the house, not at home, and he works really long hours. Why? Because he was like a mechanic in a fast food restaurant for a fast food brand, and every night he has to wait till the restaurant close, and then he can only start work at 10 p.m. So by the time he has finished servicing the machine and all that stuff, it's already 11:30. By the time he came back home, we are already asleep, preparing for the next day of school. So my whole childhood, I would say like primary school, secondary school, I hardly see my dad. So there's no communication. But having said that, at times he was still he don't talk much. He will buy things for us after a lot of pestering, like daddy, I want this bicycle, daddy, I want this bicycle. Years. Then on maybe the third year during the Christmas, he will surprise you, because he's the only sole breadwinner. And my dad, he really worked really hard, but that's where I see him as a role model, as a very good husband, right, as a good dad. But there wasn't any communication. But as all of you know, right, when you grow up during the teens, you get rebellious. And that was when my dad say north, I go south, or when he say west, I go east. So we never had anything matched. For example, in the secondary school, my dad wanted me to join NPCC, right, the National Police Cadet Corps. I went to orchestra, band.
Oh, I'm also from band.
Correct. Then after that, when I was in army, my dad wanted me to be like a soccer player to represent the army. Then in the end, I went to the most strong unit, which is commandos, and he was like, why are you like putting yourself into so much challenges and stuff? So when I came out to work, or even when I go for study, right, he want me to go to engineering course. I say I don't want. Why? Because I don't want to be like you. And I went to took up fashion design. So in fact, I graduated from Temasek Poly, major in fashion design. The course is called apparel design and merchandising. So I major in fashion design rather than the other two streams, which is international merchandising and also visual merchandising. So my relationship with my dad is like touch and go. It's like touch and go. They really see him, okay, then ciao already. And so it has been very awkward, and I've always been a rebellious boy with my dad. I never listened to my dad when I was young.
But come to say of that, right? When I first time met your dad, that was during mother industry list. launched the first book by Kenneth. And I'm also very honored and privileged that he invited me as the keynote speaker and to grace the event as well. That was the first day that I met Auntie and Uncle. And because I had a short chat with him, and he is so proud and so supportive of you. Therefore, I keep thinking that, wow, Kenneth, that is so awesome, supporting him all the way, even though this journey is a big question mark. Because during that time, social media just kick-started. And a lot of people are so-called doing this kind of like community, supporting mothers. Like all of us are having like a big questions. Whether we'll succeed or not, no one knows. But just that passion driving us towards the purpose and profits. And that was when I talked to your dad, and I feel that he feels so proud of you. But then yet you said that, oh no, he didn't support your entrepreneur.
Yeah, in fact, what Jenny mentioned to me, this is the first time she shared this. I'm not aware of that he was proud, he was even supportive. Because all the while, like 11 years ago when I first do without a job, got laid off and stuff like that, and when I stepped into entrepreneurship, right, he was not supportive at all. He will say that why don't you be a good husband, go and get a job, and then take care of family, then you can be a good father. Why are you venturing out into the space? You think you are like 老板命 you think you can be a boss and he just basically poured a lot of cold water on me, but it never stopped. Like 11 years already, he's still not very supportive. He's still wondering like, why am I still running business? Like, why you never give up? But I think he came to a point that 讲也没有用 like whatever he want to say, he will not, because he know that his son is like him, stubborn, right? So this is something that we are pretty alike. So until Jenny tell me, I believe that all fathers are proud at that point of time. It could be a PR thing like, 反正自己人 like my own people don't want to 下衰 my son, right? I just be very, very proud, feel very proud. I think he felt proud at few moments, but when reality hits, right, they say, okay, this is something that he will not do. And why I say that, because my dad did have like 老板梦 entrepreneur, but he was not successful. That's all I can say. And then he has that I would say traumatic experience, and he believed that he don't want it to happen on any one of us.
Yes.
That's why I know. And for me is that I know my path, and if working for people works for me, it would have worked for me. But all the wild things happen, even with by choice or not by choice, it happened. But I'm grateful that it pointed me to now. That's why my own company, this is my longest employment ever, 11 years, guys.
I have to say that for me, myself, I'm also very grateful towards my family, my hubby, Shane. There are many times I wanted to give up, but he was the one who actually said that, don't give up so easily. I love the way you craft out your dreams and helping the communities. There will be many challenges, failures for an entrepreneur to succeed many years later, just like an artist. So he just said that, keep going, and because of your personality, you'll be well liked by many people to help and support you. That also, in a way, supporting me to come all the way to this 2026 and to this Midlife Clover community. And when I look back, how we in a way
journey together.
Journey together. Yes, it's really not easy. Social media changes. Technology destructured. In terms of Asia, expect how it has drastic changes evolved in terms of all kinds of businesses and technology evolvement. There are a lot of so-called experiences, learning process that we went through, and we met a lot of be it whether mompreneur or entrepreneur or midlifepreneurs, I believe we all share the same dream, is that since you're already in the boat, why not just go through the storm and see where we're going to land
Yeah.
later part. And for Kenneth, I feel that the best thing that we have in entrepreneurship is that okay, it can be true and false. I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in priority life balance. Seriously, a lot of people thought that entrepreneur will not have will have your own sweet time, own flexibility. But yes and no. Same thing when Kenneth came out. He said that, oh, from here onwards, I will have my time management. To be honest, he has better time management as compared to me. He will always be punctual. I always see him spending a lot of time with daughter. When that time, both of us, our kids are all very young. And he will also bring her to media event as well. And he will exercise with her girl. She has a very close relationship with Denise. Yeah. Would you want to share?
Yeah.
more?
So in fact, like what Jenny mentioned, right? I think the most important thing or the best thing that happened in my life, right, is 11 years ago, coincidentally or accidentally, I chose entrepreneurship. I had no idea at all. I think the universe just led me to make that decision, and then the client say, why not you set up your own company? So I just just start lor. Because I had no option at that point of time. It was like also sudden to me that Jenny and the other partner decided to follow the business. I was like, huh? Well, I thought we are good, but I respect them. They have their own reason, and it just happened that clients suggest why not I start, and then I start lah. Then after you start already, you also didn't think too much, but it's a whole journey. But on the flip side, why I chose that is because I lost when I was in corporate, right? Before joining Jenny, right, I lost all the life or the time with my daughter. My daughter back then was still young. The cutest was 2 to 3 years old. I was with a media company, and I spent 2 years there. I worked through, I burned out, I worked through, I ended up in depression, and then decided to call quit, and that's how I met Jenny in my previous employment. So with that, Jenny gave a lot of flexibility. Jenny say, you go and send your daughter to school, then you come to work, or sometimes work from home. And that was way before even work from home is a thing. So she believed in work-life balance. I still remember Jenny was bringing her two kids, right, to office. Like there is like a playpen in her room, and they were like it's like a childcare center.
Milk.
Right, feeding milk like a childcare center. I was like, wow, that's really really interesting. And that's where I think, because both of our daughters are of the same age.
Yeah.
So that's why I saw that it is possible to integrate parenting with entrepreneurship together, and that's how the whole journey started. And because of that move, right, that I stepped into entrepreneurship, right, I'm always constantly thinking, how should I market myself? How should I brand myself? That was when I started to have the thought of publishing a book. And with that I have to be the walk of the talk, right? I cannot be just write a book about work-life balance, talk about life integration with entrepreneurship and parenting, and I'm not doing it. So I became what I call the dad entrepreneur, where we cut short, call dadpreneur. Because I start my business because I want to be my dad, right? So that I can take care of my daughter, I can send her to school, I can fetch her from school, I can also spend time with my mother. In fact, every morning ever since then, I've been having breakfast with my mom.
Yes, I always saw that.
Yeah. So having breakfast with my mom, at the same time, I think that relationship really bond. And at the same time, sometimes when I'm going for go out for appointment, I will say, "Mommy, can you help me to take care of my daughter?" Right? She's always okay. Why? Because I spend more time with her. So having said that, that also created that bond even until today, right? Although my daughter is now 17, we still have the conversation because she's really like me. She's very artistic, very creative, and now she's also very good at math, which is the same as I. So there's a lot of things that we have in common. And because of that time being spent with her, right, I think when she grew up, right, our relationship is still close. That means whenever we can sit down, we will still be able to chat. And in fact, my wife is going to travel for the next 1 week, and this 1 week is our daddy and daughter's time because now it's school holiday for her. So this is where I can see that a lot of my friends, their children, don't want to hang out with them, right? And I'm very blessed that my daughter will want to go out with me. We can go out for movie together, dinner together, or maybe karaoke together, right?
Nice.
So that is where I think we became a different parent because of entrepreneurship. Because although like what Jenny mentioned, you have the flexibility of time, but that is also there's a downside. When you have too much time, you might not do productive thing or what we call income generating activities to bring in revenue, to bring in business for your career or for your family as an income. So that means with my daughter, I think the time that we spend together is more valuable than any other things.
Many people always say that in life you can't have a perfect life. We should actually set our priority, what exactly we want, and then know how to learn to accept certain changes and let go certain things or lifestyle that we might not be able to have both best of the world. Yeah. So same as myself, I love to be employed, but too bad is during that time also 2 young children, and I cannot be telling my hubby to stay at home to look after. And being an Asian woman, I started to think that, why not I just be a stay-home mom? But unfortunately, I couldn't. And in a very deep blessing as such that my clients all very close knit with me, and they have been visiting, they have been coming to visit me, or so-called we catch up, and they will always say that, why don't you start up on your own? And that was also how I become a business consultant in the early days, and slowly towards the passion of driving communities. So I do agree to what Kenneth say, is that sometimes it's a struggle. If you want to achieve very, very high income with huge building on your own name, that kind of lifestyle, it's not that impossible. Yes, possible, but you will hardly have that kind of precious moment with your young one and your old folks. So we choose to, 够吃够用够穿 enough to survive, to have a decent lifestyle with our family and still be able to take care of our children and our parents. And I think this is something that money can't buy. We at least see our children growing up together.
Yep.
And now when I started to have this midlife clover community, I started to spend more time with males. I started to realize that a lot of males are actually under tremendous kind of anxiety, stress, and maybe because this is also a stage of years whereby
Correct.
insomnia or anxiety burnout or they have been years of accumulating, growing inside instead of pouring outside. So a lot of males tend not to speak up. How do you feel? Do you think that community will help, or is there any way that we can actually get more males to be more open up?
I think I should thank Jenny for inviting me to be the first guest. Why? I hope that I would want to set maybe like a benchmark or like a space, right, for men. Why? Because I'm very vocal. And the reason why I'm very vocal is because I have my own podcast. I interview 120 mothers from all around the world. And I've heard a lot of stories from them, right? And I've been wondering, a lot of my mompreneur friends, they'll be asking me, Kenneth, why don't you start a podcast with interviewing men to talk about all this struggle? But I can tell you, it's really hard. But with Jenny, as a woman, as a mom, as an established entrepreneur, to open up that space. Because for a man to open up, right, it's one-sided. Do you guys agree? But like for my case, why did I successfully interview so many mompreneurs? Because from a man perspective, interviewing a mompreneur, I can bring up, because our perspective is different. The question that we ask is what the audience might be looking at. Because there's no conversation between a male host with a female guest. There's no consistency in that. And now with Jenny, right, bringing up this, right, I feel that Why men are not speaking up? Because there's no representation. There's nobody bringing us out. Because if like if it's a male host and a male guest, right, talk about male struggles and all that, right, it's very singular. Like it's very one-sided.
Awkward moments, huh?
It's not just awkward. It's like
men will talk about FIFA Cup, World Cup.
Correct. No, you will talk about things that is singular. You won't talk about things that is both gender, right? And the perspective. Imagine for men will say, yes, correct, you are with me, you are with me. But for women, asking a man, she will have her own female perspective with a male perspective, and maybe she enlightened me. Oh, in fact, my wife thinks like that. Like, why was my podcast so, why I can keep on doing is because I'm always learning from the other guests, right? My mompreneur guest, the female guest. I'm learning how to be a better son, better husband, and better father, right? From their perspective. But at the same time, my guests also learn the perspective of why my husband behave like that, why my dad behave like that, why my son behave like that. There's no conversation. I saw a lot of podcasts that doesn't have that. Why? Why can't we have that conversation? Like what Jenny mentioned, why can't men open up? Because there's no one like Jenny that can open up. Because when you want to open up, you need to first trust the person. And second thing, you need to be comfortable that you know that this is a place, this is a platform that allows men to speak up, and women from her community can speak up for us, can resonate with us. That's why I'm here to really share. When Jenny bring this up, right? Why men? Because I can tell you, I once wanted to open up my own. And when I see my friends open up this community of all males coming together to support mental wellness and all that, kudos to them. But I felt that something is missing. Because it's everything about ego. It's all about, you talk about your car, I talk about my car, you talk about your success, you talk about success, you talk about vulnerability, I'm more charmed than you. But they never go deep, guys. I can tell you, they never go deep. Because why? Because men typically, mostly, don't go deep. But women can bring the deepest part of us. And that's why I work with women for the past, decade, 2 decades. I can go deep. But not a lot of men can go deep. Why? Because I have a very good guy friend. Whenever we talk, it's over drinks. He will only go deep until he really drink a lot, right? But most men don't go to the level until you are really, really brother, right? So that's why when Jenny bring up for that, right, I feel that men are really not being brought out a lot of times. It's like always the women that's talking about it, because women naturally we love conversation, but men is always keeping inside. Why? Because especially Asian men, we have to look tough. We cannot tear, we cannot cry, right? We can bleed, but we cannot cry. That kind of stuff, right? Asian men, and always they will ask you, why you cry? Why you so kunyang? Why you so soft and all that? Like men always had that framework, that persona that we have to upkeep, and that's why it's very tiring for us. And when Jenny bring it out, I felt that this is time I can take out all my armor like Iron Man. Unfiltered, take out all my armor and then really be myself. Because in fact, men, right, have you guys heard of, like for as a mother, right, do you sometimes feel that your husband is like your, the other son?
Yes.
Right? Because in the very close relationship, right, you realize that your spouse, even being a big macho man, right, we have our soft side. But how many people really can go deep into it? How many people can go into that? And in the modern society, right, the society look at us that men, you need to do this, you need to do that. For example, recently I have a conversation with someone who was saying that his neighbor is a Japanese guy, married a Japanese woman. In the typical Japanese setting, is the man has to go out and work until very late, right? Then can go back home. And if you go back home early, right, you are not a very capable husband. That is the typical Japanese culture. And then you know what happened to this neighbor of his? The man is a stay-at-home dad. He cook, he invite people come in for a house party and all that stuff, and he cook, he spend time, pick up the daughter, send the daughter to school, send the wife to airport. The wife is just working in a very, very good job, having a very, very good successful career, very successful. And he's doing a house husband job. How many men can do that? And he don't care about what other people think of him. Why? Because this is his family. And he wants
maybe
the
the
family.
world will change soon.
Correct. But there are not a lot of men that dares to take that step because it's always about face value, about the ego, about the people around you. They will say, oh, Kenneth, you no use lah. Why you stay at home? Like they will say, 吃软饭lah. You depend on your wife. Then if you switch the role, why is it logical for the wife to depend on the husband? Most women now, I know educated women, they don't want. They say, I'm capable, why do I depend on my husband? But when it seems in the society it's okay for the women to depend on the man, why can't the man depend on the women? Right? So that's a question for our audience to really ponder and really digest. Why is it okay for that and not okay for men to do that?
I think if a male and female decided to have a family together and decided to have children, all this will have to open up and communicate and discuss what is the best arrangement, especially when the babies or the toddler, they are very young age, 0 to 6. That's my personal view. That stage of life to my children, I feel is crucial. That one of us just have to play low to make sure that they have at least one parent around them. Because during that time, my hubby is always, because oil and gas, right, definitely need to travel out. So if both of us having high flyer job, keep traveling, then who is going to look after the children? Cannot be the helper. So that was why I feel that I should take that step back and stay low in a way. But at the same time, I have to thank to the so-called the technology in advance, whereby now even into AI marketing, so that we have the privilege to work remotely. But whether male will go and become a stay-home dad, right? Honestly, I feel that the percentage will go up. Because firstly, we can work remotely. Secondly, the generation aspect have changed. A lot of us are aware that we cannot rely on just one person. It should be two person willing to compromise each other, to have that strength together, to build what we want together. This is something that personally I feel that should be the way. And plus the so-called the vocal partner, I think in the Asian days, a lot are she don't say, I don't say. So both sides keep quiet. But now people tend to speak up.
Yeah, I think when you speak up, both of you just imagine, right? Husband and wife, right, or partners, right? Both of us, we need to have an end goal, right? We need to have a common goal, because when you have a common goal, you work towards that, and it's not compromise anymore. It's comrades. That means your partners together in life to travel to that point that you want to be. For example, okay, now we will do this. Like for example, the Japanese man example, right? He decided, because both of them decided which is the best, right? And the man really happy. My friend was telling me that his Japanese neighbor, right, was so happy, like he was sharing, doing house party and all that. But do you know what he's doing behind the scene? He's doing trading, right? He's still making an income, but on the surface, he's a house husband, always at home. Why? Because the trading is at night on the flip side, right? Then when the daughter is getting ready to sleep and then preparing for next day work, he can just spend 1 to 2 hours doing his trading, putting his trade, and then he just wait for things to happen. Next day, someone need to be at home. That's what Jenny mentioned. And I chose, since I have the opportunity to start my own business, I choose to be the one at home. Like what Jenny mentioned, I realized recent years, especially in the past 10 over years in my entrepreneurship, I realized that a lot of my friends, a lot of my peers, both parents are out. And as their kids grow up, right, you can see their kids are very different. And now they regretted not being there for them. A lot of them have said that. I believe that you and your friends you do have friends that also resonate with you, also went through that. And a lot of things you can't reverse, because we have been through the rebellious age. Like just now we talk about my dad. Why my relationship with my dad was not good? Because he wasn't around. But thank God my mom was there. There was someone that is there emotionally to take care of my EQ, take care of my social skills, take care of my well-being, like make sure I got enough rice to eat, I got enough clothes to wear. This is what our mom back then, right, was there. But nowadays, because of all the challenges, because of all the standard of living, because of education, men and women, we have the means to generate income, to bring bread back home. But when you have two person that is bringing bread back home, definitely there's something lacking at home. And that's why why was I passionate about empowering mothers to be entrepreneurs? Because I saw that that's happening. I want to provide a solution to really empower mothers, how they can instantly create a business. Like Jenny mentioned, now there's technology, there's AI. Back then, it's about leveraging, right? Leveraging on technology, how to build an online business. That was 10 over years ago. Now, they will say the next billionaire will be a one-person company that use AI, because now we can create AI agent, right? We can create multiple AI agents to do what other people do, and it's very best for people who wanted to start their own business, who want to be mompreneur, dadpreneur, so that you can run a business with all these AI agents that there are stuff for you, and you still can take care of your kids' well-being when they're in school. You can work on your business. You don't have to spend a lot of time. And then when they are ready, you just switch it over. Your AI agent can work on it. This is what I've been exploring for my own business, and also for a lot of my students, because I teach TikTok, right? A lot of them want to automate a lot of things. A lot of them want to use AI for video, for live streaming and all that stuff. So this is the world that we are in. So it's possible for midlife, like whether you are in midlife, whether you want to start a business, it's all possible. Maybe in 10, 20 years, it might be a bit hard, might be a bit challenging. You need to learn a lot of things. But now today is like that, guys, like that. Stop using AI for petty stuff. Use AI to design your life, to make sure that you are able to have both your family time, things and people that you treasure. At the same time, you still have the ability to generate an additional income. It's no longer working in the job to be able to have that lifestyle. Yeah.
Totally agree. I myself, back scene, at the back end, a lot are actually AI agent, avatar codes, helping me to manage my admin side. Only when the community, the human touch part, is actually fronted by myself, and together with all the so-called midlifepreneurs and midlifers gather together to form events, workshop together. Somehow I still feel that the human touch is very important. Yeah. And thanks so much for Kenneth today, spending time chit-chatting with us about, dad's father, the role of male evolving with the past generation to the modern generation, and also how do you going to celebrate your Father's Day?
Yeah, in fact, I haven't think about it yet, because for us, every day is Father's Day, right? Every day is Father's Day when you are able to spend more time. For me, because of going through a lot of things in life, I'm able to heal from the past, like you say, conflict, the past trauma with my dad. And now our relationship is really, really good.
That's nice.
We are able to drink together. And nowadays, he will say, are boy joining us or not for dinner? Then my mom say, your father is asking you to drink because nobody drink with him. Yeah, so I think as you go on, as you work on yourself, because as an entrepreneur, you need to work on yourself.
Yes.
Be it on your skill set, be it on your business skills, your social skills, but it's also inner, your heart, whether are you healing from it. So do seek professional help when you need help in healing your past trauma. If things are not going smooth in your life, don't forget that we are here. That's why Jenny created this platform to really tell that you guys that you are not alone, right? There are a lot of people out there, and this platform is for you to voice out, for you to connect, for you to seek help, because it's important to to ask for help. And it's okay to be not okay. So really reach out to us. We have our contacts, we have the professional help to really help you. Because for me, imagine when I was going through depression, if I don't seek professional help, I don't find a way out, I won't be who I am today. I won't be even accepting what was meant to be my destiny, my calling, whatever you call it, to really live a happy life, be able to meet up with friends, be able to journey down this journey with a lot of amazing people, and most important thing, to be able to be there for our loved one whenever we can, because life is so fragile, life is so uncertain. And for me, my next goal is to really help people more towards their health, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether it's inner health. This is also my goal, and I'm happy that Jenny has evolved into midlife Clover and able to bring out all this, because we are going into this phase of life, and we saw our friends going through these tough challenges, and I believe that some of you are going through this phase, and we really do wish that there's a platform for you to reach out, to connect, to find ways, right? Like we talk about AI. So how many of you are using AI, really making your life, design your life, making more productive, or maybe building a side hustle, or even connect with your children, right? So I think thanks again, Jenny, for inviting me for this podcast. I'm able to share things I couldn't share in the other podcasts, because you don't talk about midlife in other podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And these are things that is, like they say, unfiltered, right?
Yes.
So I hope and all the best to Jenny and Alice for continuing this podcast with more episodes, with more unfiltered stories, to really impact and empower a lot of us who are going through our midlife. Thank you.
Wow. Thanks, Kenneth. Thanks so much for Kenneth sharing. It's really, really very real him. And honestly, both of us on this screen, we also hope to wish all the dads, daddies, Gong Gong, happy Father's Day. And apart from that, together with Alice, we actually co-hosted this channel. It's also because, like what Kenneth had mentioned, you are not alone, and it's okay to be not okay. And we also have a lot of different kind of people on board with us. They are specialists or they are experts in their industry. Talk to us, have a chat with us, and maybe you might be one of the so-called interested speaker to come and share more with us. Okay, in the next episode, we will see you. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.